Pharaoh Merenre II, a brief reign in the twilight of a golden era. The mystery of the pharaoh. In the rich tapestry of ancient Egyptian history, the Old Kingdom shines brightly as a period of monumental achievements. It was a time of grandeur, where colossal pyramids rose against the horizon and the arts flourished under the divine rule of the pharaohs. Yet, this golden age was also a time of complex transitions, where the balance between divine authority and human governance was constantly tested. Amidst this vibrant yet tumultuous backdrop, we find the enigmatic figure of Pharaoh Merenre II, ruler whose short reign has left behind more questions than answers. Merenre II's story is akin to a lost chapter in a grand saga, offering just enough fragments to tantalize historians and enthusiasts alike. With scant records and few monuments to his name, he remains a shadowy figure. However, the little we do know invites us to ponder his challenges, decisions, and the world he inhabited. This narrative seeks to reconstruct his life and times, weaving together historical facts with creative conjectures to offer a portrait of a pharaoh who faced the twilight of Egypt's Old Kingdom. The path to the throne. Merenre II lineage and early life are subjects of much debate among scholars. While his parentage is not definitively established, some believe he may have been a descendant of Pepi II, a pharaoh who ruled for over 90 years, a reign so long that it likely led to significant issues in the line of succession. The unprecedented length of Pepi II rule is thought to have weakened the central authority, as many of the old guard passed away, leaving the state in the hands of less experienced administrators and younger, less established elites. Growing up in the royal court, Merenre II would have been immersed in a world of opulence and strict protocol. The royal palace, a hub of political and religious activity, would have exposed him to the full spectrum of Egyptian society, from the highest nobility to the scribes and artisans who chronicled and celebrated the deeds of the pharaohs. Here, he would have been trained in the essential skills of leadership, diplomacy, religious rites, military strategy, and governance. This education was not merely academic. It was a preparation for the demanding role of pharaoh, a position that combined the responsibilities of a king, a high priest, and a living god. Ascension and challenges. Merenre II's ascension to the throne came at a particularly challenging time. The Old Kingdom's centralized administration, once the bedrock of its power, was increasingly undermined by the growing autonomy of regional governors, known as nomarchs. These local rulers, who had once been merely stewards of the pharaoh's will, were becoming powerful figures in their own right, often acting independently and sometimes even in defiance of the central government. Upon taking the throne, Merenre II was confronted with an array of problems. The economy was under strain, partly due to the immense resources required to sustain the state and its monumental building projects. The grandeur of the pyramids, while a testament to Egypt's engineering prowess and the divine status of its rulers, had also become a symbol of overreach and economic exhaustion. As the state treasury dwindled, maintaining control over the vast bureaucracy and ensuring the loyalty of the nomarchs became increasingly difficult. Externally, Egypt's borders were not as secure as they once were. There were growing threats from neighboring regions, including Nubia to the south and the Sinai Peninsula to the east. These threats required a strong, centralized response, but the pharaoh's weakened position made it challenging to muster the necessary resources and military strength. Merenre II's ability to navigate these challenges would have been crucial to the stability of his reign and the continuity of the Old Kingdom. The reign of a forgotten pharaoh. The brevity of Merenre II's reign has made it difficult to assess his impact on Egypt's history. Estimates suggest his rule may have lasted less than a year, although the exact duration remains uncertain. This short reign, coupled with the lack of substantial records, has led to various theories about the nature of his leadership and the challenges he faced. One theory posits that Merenre II's rule was overshadowed by powerful court officials or rival claimants to the throne, possibly leading to his early demise or deposition. Another possibility is that his reign coincided with natural disasters, such as famine or plague, which would have exacerbated the existing social and economic difficulties, further destabilizing his position. The absence of significant monuments or inscriptions bearing Merenre II's name might also suggest that his reign was not recognized or celebrated by his successors. In ancient Egypt, The construction of monumental architecture and the commissioning of inscriptions were acts of statecraft, meant to assert the ruler's divine right and commemorate their deeds. The lack of such evidence for Merenre II indicates either a rapid fall from power or a deliberate erasure from the historical record, known as damnatio memoriae. Religious and cultural context. Despite the scant details about Merenre II's personal beliefs and actions, the religious and cultural milieu of his time provides a window into the values and practices that shaped his world. The pharaoh was seen not only as a political leader but also as the high priest of every god, responsible for maintaining Ma'at. This concept encompassed truth, balance, order, law, morality, and justice, and was essential for the well-being of both the state and the universe. Merenre II would have participated in state rituals and festivals, which were grand public events designed to reinforce the pharaoh's divine status and his role as a mediator between the gods and the people. These ceremonies included offerings to the gods, recitations of hymns and prayers, and complex processions involving priests and officials. The pharaoh's involvement in these rituals was not just symbolic. It was believed to be crucial for ensuring the continuity of the natural and social order. In addition to religious duties, the pharaoh was also a patron of the arts and architecture. Although there are no grandiose structures directly attributed to Merenre II, the period in which he lived was marked by a distinctive artistic style characterized by refined craftsmanship and detailed carvings. This era saw the continuation of pyramid building, albeit on a reduced scale, and the decoration of tombs with elaborate scenes depicting daily life, religious rituals, and the journey to the afterlife. An uncertain legacy. The mystery surrounding Merenre II extends to his death and burial, which remain unconfirmed. Unlike his predecessors, who were interred in grand pyramids or elaborate tombs, Merenre II's final resting place has not been definitively identified. This absence is striking, as burial practices in ancient Egypt were deeply connected to beliefs about the afterlife. A proper burial was essential for ensuring a safe journey to the afterlife and a favorable reception in the court of Osiris, the god of the dead. The possibility that Merenre II was denied a proper tomb, or that his burial site was deliberately obscured, suggests that his reign might have ended in scandal or conflict. It raises questions about the stability of the period and the possible power struggles that followed his death. The lack of a monumental tomb also implies that subsequent rulers may have sought to distance themselves from his legacy, either because they viewed his reign as illegitimate or because they needed to assert their own authority more strongly. Reflections on Merenre II's reign. The story of Merenre II is a reminder of the complexities and challenges of leadership, especially during times of transition. His reign, although brief and poorly documented, occurred at a critical juncture in Egyptian history. The Old Kingdom, which had been a model of centralized power and cultural achievement, was gradually giving way to a period of decline and decentralization. This transitional phase, known as the First Intermediate Period, is often described as a dark age due to the political fragmentation and economic difficulties that characterized it. However, recent scholarship has highlighted that this period was also a time of significant cultural and artistic activity. Regional centers gained prominence, and local leaders commissioned new works of art and literature, reflecting a shift in cultural and political dynamics. Merenre II's reign, therefore, can be seen as both a culmination of the Old Kingdom's achievements and a prelude to the transformations that would reshape Egypt in the centuries to come. His challenges, whether related to internal politics, economic management, or external threats, were indicative of broader trends that would ultimately lead to the decentralization of power and the rise of local dynasties. Anecdotes and speculations. While concrete details about Merenre II's life are elusive, anecdotes and speculative narratives can provide a richer, more human portrait of this obscure pharaoh. For instance, it is conceivable that Merenre II was acutely aware of the challenges facing his kingdom and took steps, however limited by circumstance, to address them. One story suggests that Merenre II, faced with the prospect of famine, personally oversaw the storage and distribution of grain, attempting to ensure that his people were fed. This anecdote, though not supported by direct evidence, aligns with the traditional role of the pharaoh as a caretaker and provider, responsible for the well-being of his subjects. Another speculative account involves Merenre II's interest in maintaining Egypt's cultural heritage. Despite the economic constraints of his time, It is said that he prioritized the preservation of artistic and literary traditions, commissioning works that celebrated Egypt's past glories and reinforced the cultural identity of his people. Such actions would have been particularly important during a period of uncertainty, serving to unify the populace and assert the continuity of the pharaoh's divine mandate. The enduring mystery. Merenre II's enigmatic reign continues to fascinate scholars and enthusiasts of ancient Egyptian history. His brief and obscure rule offers a glimpse into a period of transition and uncertainty, a time when the old certainties of the Old Kingdom were giving way to new realities. As archaeologists and historians continue to uncover more about this period, each new discovery adds a piece to the puzzle of Merenre II's life and legacy. The story of Merenre II is a testament to the enduring allure of ancient Egypt, a civilization that, despite the passage of millennia, continues to captivate our imagination and challenge our understanding. Whether through the discovery of new artifacts, the reinterpretation of old texts, or the advancement of archaeological techniques, the quest to understand Merenre II's reign and the world he inhabited remains a compelling and ongoing journey. As we piece together the fragments of his life, we gain not only a deeper understanding of this enigmatic pharaoh but also a richer appreciation of the complexities and nuances of ancient Egyptian civilization. In conclusion, Merenre II stands as a poignant figure in the history of the Old Kingdom, a reminder of the fragile nature of power and the ways in which history can be both recorded and forgotten. His reign, though brief and shrouded in mystery, is a crucial chapter in the story of ancient Egypt, offering valuable insights into the challenges of leadership, the dynamics of power, and the resilience of cultural identity in times of change.